Hey guys, welcome back. Alright, so the day has come. We're going to get started. So, without further ado, I'll let you guys in on the plan once I make a few cuts, start to piece a few things together, and see if you can guess before I tell you what's going on. Even though the title might have already given it away, I don't, maybe. Alright, we'll get started anyways. Did I get you? Yeah, no, we're not going that route. Yeah, we're gonna be a little more precise than that. Anyways, welcome to the project. Let's get into the details of what's going to happen here. Alright guys, so honestly the title should have given away exactly what we're starting here today. But any project that starts with a better chance of success is going to include a set of plans. So I've made up a rough set of plans, a few scribbles and edits made along the way, but it's going to give me a general idea how I'm going to create this chicken coop. So I've taken a few different ideas from other users on YouTube, kind of put it all together into my own layout. So you can see that's one side, the other side with the egg catch box, so on and so forth, the base, and the front, rear, and left wall, and right wall. So I needed to put these together to, one, determine how much wood to buy, and two, to try and work out my measurements, obviously, and keep things on track. Now there's probably going to be some improvising happen along the way, but we'll deal with that as it comes. But overall, we're looking for an 8-foot long by 5-foot wide chicken coop. So this is the base. So the base is not going to be exactly 8 foot long. It's actually going to be 7'9", and that's going to allow me to put an extra 1.5 inches at either end, just for a little bit of overhang over the front and the back, and still allow me to use a full length sheet of plywood, because I don't want to have any joins, especially for just small amounts. Now as far as the width goes, it's going to be 5 wide, so obviously one sheet of plywood is going to come up a foot short, but I managed to cut that much. And that extra foot is going to be the chicken nesting boxes anyways, so there will be a piece of 2x4 covering the join at that area in the floor. Alright, so today we are going to be building this base. So again, it's going to be 7'9" in length, and it's going to be 5 foot wide altogether. Okay, so total 60 inches from side to side. So given your footer and your header, well, as if you were making a regular wall, at 1.5 inches each, this is going to be 5 foot minus 3 inches. Okay, for the length of these posts. So another thing with this base as well is I'm going to have 4 4x4 legs, so one in each corner, obviously. So this layout of 2x4s is actually not going to be what we end up with, because I'm going to have an extra 2x4 going down here and an extra 2x4 going down here, because I want the 4x4s to at least have 3 sides of contact with the base. I want this to have a lot of strength. I want it to be a little bit forgiving if I rough with it or have to move it and put a bit of strain on those legs. I don't want those legs to be the weak point. So I'm going to be reinforcing those legs quite well with at least 3 sides contact onto 2x4s, and we'll be using some lag bolts and regular screws, as well as some glue to hold those in place. So as I said previously, I do go a bit overkill with my projects, and you're probably going to notice that throughout this build. whether that's excessive use of adhesives, excessive use of hardware, you know, overcompensation for heating and insulation, all that good stuff, you're gonna see it here. Alright, so where I'm going to begin is with the 4x4 pressure treated legs. So I got an 8-foot length of 4x4 pressure treated lumber, and I'm going to be making marks at every 2-foot point, and then I'll chop that up and make 4 legs. So I'm not going to get into any detail on actually using the tools. I think if you're going to be tackling these projects, you should probably get a grasp on using your tools beforehand. But not that it's hard or anything, you know, these are pretty easy tools to figure out. You just got to respect them, right? As for anything. And there we go. That's our 4 legs done. So that was pretty easy, like I say. There were 3 easy cuts, and you end up with 4 legs, all 2 foot long. Alright, so now that we got our legs done, we're going to move on to the actual base frame. So we'll start off with our 7-foot 9-inch header, footer, end pieces, you know, and then we'll get working on the posts that join those together. So we'll get our base started up here now. These are actually really close to being pre-cut, actually. We're only off by a 1/2 inch. Yeah, we're very close to that. Those are properly pre-cut studs. Still extra 1/2 inch that needs to come on. Alright, so next on the list now will be 57-inch studs. So we're going to need approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, maybe more. We'll see that now as we get into it to make sure we got that 3-point contact with the 4x4 leg. Alright, let's start cutting some 57-inch studs. Alright, so next I'm going to test fit what I got cut so far, just to make sure everything's working out properly, and see if I can get a feel for how many studs exactly I'm going to need to be able to accommodate for that 3-point contact on the legs. Alright, so let's do a bit of dry fitting. Alright, so now that I got the general outline of the outside of the base done, I've looked at it a bit closer, and I think my 2-foot legs are a little bit high. I think, you know, stability wise plus just practicality, I don't think they need to be a full 2 feet high. So this is going to be one of those improvised changes. I'm going to reduce each leg down to 18 inches instead of 24. Alright, so now that that's done, the legs are shortened by 6 inches, so now each of these pressure treated legs are 18 inches in length, and it looks a whole lot better to me now. So we'll continue on. Alright, so I'm actually going to begin just tacking these corners in place here now, and then I'll fit some more studs in between as we go. So I'll lay the leg aside. So I'm going to begin with a little bit of glue at the ends. Take off the sticker just for a little bit of extra adhesion. Dab of glue. I'm going to start my screw. I'm just going to put a board underneath here to help line it up. That looks good. There we are, that's one corner. And on to the next. Alright, for this next stud, I'm going to use the 4x4 post to measure out exactly where that's going. And we'll repeat the same thing on the other side. Alright, one other thing I decided to do was just cut these 3.5-inch blocks just to do the fourth side on those legs and help pin those in again. So I'll just go ahead and put those in. It's good, nice and solid. Alright, now that we got the framing done properly for the legs, I'm just going to go ahead and put a couple of screws in each leg and tack it in place. That way it won't move any further, and if we need to flip it up and whatnot. At least for the unevenness of the floor, I'd like to have it stood up there like I do now, make sure it's flush, tack it in place, and then when it comes to actually putting in the lag bolts and drilling the holes for that, I'll know that everything's already set in place. So let's get through that. Alright, so now that the legs are secured on, I'm going to finish up the studs now. I know it may be a bit of a different order that I'm doing this, or maybe this is the same kind of order you would do it, but I wanted to get those legs in place. Now I'm going to start marking 16-inch centers, not from the very outside of the frame, but that next one on the other side of the 4x4. Weight savings, lumber savings, and still 16-inch centers from where I know it starts. It's a base of a chicken coop. There's no drywallers going to be coming behind me trying to measure off the base on where to put anything like that, you know. So in the interest of saving a little bit of weight, saving a little bit of lumber, I'm going to start from that inside 4-inch gap and go with 16-inch centers from there. I think I'll be as short by like an inch on the last one, which is fine by me. So at this point now I'm just going to go along and mark my 16-inch centers. And I'll just repeat that on the opposite side. So now that we've marked our centers, I can tell that I need 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need 4 more ribs. I got 2 done already. So I'm going to make 2 more. Alright, so now it's time to line up those studs, screw them in place, and the base framing is pretty much done. Probably put on a couple of leg supports, and that'll do this much. So one thing you'll notice I did is laying all the ribs out at the same time, so that when I tighten one and it brings the frames closer together, it won't give me the trouble of trying to squeeze them in later. Alright, so what I've come up with now for leg supports, you know, these are good and sturdy, but you know, you get a good tweak, or if you unbalance it when you put it in place and put too much weight in a corner, you do have a risk there of cracking a leg or dislodging it in some way. I'd rather just have it as foolproof as possible. So what I'm going to do, I've cut both ends of this at 45, and it fits down around there, just excuse me, just like so. Alright, I think that'll be a nice addition. So I need to cut 8 of those. Let's get started. Alright, so here's my original that I just did up, and I'm going to mark that with a T for template, and I'm going to haul out some more to get ready to mark. And there we go, 8 leg supports complete. Alright guys, so that is the base framed up. Still got a little bit more to do as far as putting in the lag bolts in the side, and then we're going to actually be insulating the base. I'm up here in Canada, and I want my chickens to be able to stay out in the winter. I don't want to have to be trying to take them in somewhere heated. So what I'm going to do is insulate it as the best way possible, and then put in proper ventilation to keep it dry and warm that way. So we'll tackle that next time. But as for now, before we finish up tonight, I will get those lag bolts put in. So let's get ready to do those. That is solid. Alright, so for the legs and the lag bolts, what I have here are some 6-inch lags with a 1-inch washer. Alright, like so. So what I'm going to be doing is one's going to be going in that way, one's going to be going in this way. Now obviously, as you can see there, if they were both put in at the same level, they would bump into each other and cause problems. So we're going to have to offset those by, probably an inch or so, just to make sure that they miss once they go into the wood. So with that said, let's begin doing some pilot holes and countersink with the 1-inch paddle bit, and then we'll sink in our legs. Alright. Swap that out for the paddle bit to countersink the head. Let's see. Yeah, that'll do. Now we got the washer to accommodate for as well. So take that extra little bit, and then we'll do this side. Should be plenty. Take our lag bolt, line it up, and impact it in, nice and easy. Easy peasy. A lemon squeezy. And on to the next. So this one will be up around this side. And lower. And if you're wondering why I'm countersinking these, it's because I plan on the plywood coming right down to the bottom, so I need to make sure it doesn't bring up on the head of the lag bolt. never good. Looks like I need a new drill bit, and the other one is going to become part of our chicken coop. Alright, so let's resume, and we'll go down a little ways from our previous. Definitely hitting some resistance. Could be a screw, maybe not. How far away are we? Let's try right in the middle. That one went all right. And there we go, lag bolts are in. So there we have it. That's tonight's work done. The base is framed. So nowhere to go but up from here. Literally. It turned out really good. And that is sturdy as can be. Alright, that's over-engineered chicken coop right there. Alright, so that's going to conclude our adventures tonight. The base is done, looking good, feeling good. There's probably a few hours work put into that, and great progress. Absolutely great progress. So I'm going to go in, edit up this video, get it out to you guys, hopefully have it published tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content and continue to come back. If you haven't already, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe, hit that like button, and ring the notification bell. And come on with me through this journey of building a chicken coop. This stuff's only easy compared to what we got to do yet. Anyways, be safe, take care of each other. Peace.